Well, it was brief. Very brief. We should have played more, but I had the man here with us who made it. Welcome to the Casual Hour.
You should play the whole thing. You definitely should play the whole thing on the one that he's on.
Extended cut.
I'm remixing it. Hey, I am
to the guest.
Happy to welcome you all to the Casual Hour podcast, ostensibly about video games, but tonight we are mostly about E3 2021 and saying hi to Patric Brown.
What's up?
How you
What's
doing?
happening? I'm good. Happy to be here as always.
Wonderful.
Thank y'all for having me.
Of course. And as always, the gamer on the go, Chase Kinnicky, my E3 confidant from the weekend. Chase, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I was about to say great, but we had an E3 injury over here.
Oh boy.
We're fine. Everything's fine. Everybody's okay.
Okay.
Just, missing a toe now. No big deal.
And Farmer in the Dale, Johnny, who was out sowing seeds, too busy to talk about E3.
Sure. Yes. I'm back. I'm ready to talk about all the video games.
I didn't ask how you were.
He's got that farmer's tan. Look at him.
It's true. I do, actually. If you look at my wrist, it's got quite the tan line. It's that Mediterranean blood.
Pretty white to me.
Well, we got a lot to cover tonight. Let's just set the stage up. Over the weekend, Chase, you and I broke down the first 2 days of E3. We showed and talked over some trailers. We covered a lot of the events, not everything, but most of the stuff that happened over the weekend. We talked a little bit about
the first 3 days of E3. Well, I mean, the Summer Games Fest is not technically associated with E3, but we talked about what happened on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, totally. So we got that information up there. It's on our YouTube page. If you're listening to this as a podcast, check the notes. You'll see links to the first 2 days coverage if you want to follow up on a more detailed level of what those events looked like. But tonight, we're going to be celebrating E3, wrapping it up in style. We're going to cover what happened, I guess, Monday and Tuesday. And then we'll all kind of go through and just share what were our big takeaways this year and have a good time doing it. Sound good to everybody here?
Sounds great.
Always.
And do.
Cool. Again, Patric, thanks for being here. It's lovely to see you, lovely to hear you. And the little bit of music you heard live tonight was made by him, but the music you heard for this podcast and always you hear by him is made by him.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I guess we're going to kick it off with Capcom tonight. Does that work for everybody?
I guess.
What the hell was going on here with Capcom?
I don't know if the expectations were just higher than they should have been. I don't know if Capcom just did a bad job of setting expectations, but they didn't really announce much of anything new. Most of the stuff they showed were games that were either out or are coming out very soon with maybe tiny little announcements attached to them. Like they started with Resident Evil, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, there's a multiplayer mode now, and there's some other DLC stuff, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. And then they moved on. Like, okay, well, that's the first thing. And it was a short show. It didn't have much of anything all that interesting to me. I mean, they talked about Monster Hunter Stories too, which is a game I'm extremely excited about. But we have also seen at least one other time during E3, and then we saw it at Nintendo the next day. So we got to see plenty of Monster Hunter Stories too. It just I was really underwhelmed by this whole thing.
Patric, let me ask you a question about that. Because you are, out of the group of us, the one who cares the most about Resident Evil. And they did talk about Reverse, which were you into what was going on with Reverse? I know they got pushed back with 8 coming out, but you don't care about Reverse? Not your thing?
No, not at all.
Okay. Because I guess that's finally coming out in July. But they did what I was surprised by, because I knew it would be Monster Hunter shit. I'm surprised that there's going to be DLC for Village. And that sounds strange, because what I know about that game sounds like it ends pretty much like with a definitive, like, hey, this is kind of done. What do you think?
I can't really say too much because I haven't beaten the game.
Okay.
But when I don't know if you guys heard about when Capcom got hacked a while ago.
No.
And so Capcom got all their assets and a lot of stuff pretty much held for ransom. and I read the ending for Resident Evil 8
Oh shit!
because I cannot, because I can't contain myself. And like you said, yes, it's a very definitive ending. And yeah, I don't know where else that game can go. I don't want to spoil the ending for people who have not played it, but I mean, I guess it may not be like a story-based DLC. It may be like an extra game mode or like a side thing, like a side story. Like in when they did the Resident Evil 2 remake, the side story was you play this other survivors trying to get out of Raccoon City. So it might not be like might not be a continuation of the core story. Who knows?
It's just
Sure.
a mode where the tall vampire lady sits on you. That's all it is.
That's the
that
DLC.
was kind of my question. So if I remember correctly, and I have not played Resident Evil 8, but I have heard people talk about it. Lady Lady D. She is not in that game all that long. Like she's near the beginning
First couple
of it.
hours, I think.
But then you kind of like ditch her, right? I don't want you to spoil anything, but is there any reason that Capcom couldn't make some DLC with her in it? Or is there a reason why she might not be in any future DLC?
The internet was already too horny for her, so
Yeah.
it's like even more, it would just probably cause all of us to explode.
I mean, it caught Capcom by surprise that if she was just in the demo, people thought the whole game was based around her, and they're like, "Oh fuck, that people are really horny for this vampire lady." We have to go put a tweet to tell her exact height out to the world, to satisfy the horny gamers. I mean, I could totally see. We have, hey, here's a DLC. Here's a lady DLC.
Oh boy.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh
like
boy.
origin story.
Yeah, maybe it's more stuff with her. I could totally see that because she's blown up way bigger than Capcom thought she would for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm curious about that. That game has really taken off in a big way. I would like to know more about what that DLC is, even if I'll never play it. I think it's cool that the game is doing well. And I mean, Resident Evil, they got a reboot happening over on Netflix, it sounds like, with the CGI series. That sounds really cool. And
Can't wait.
I'm excited to see kind of what they're doing to bring this back towards Raccoon City, if they are, and all that crazy shit there with it. So
I can break this down real quick.
okay.
So there are two Resident Evil things coming out on Netflix. There's a movie starring Claire Redfield and Leon S. Kennedy, and that takes place in the core Resident Evil timeline.
Okay.
And then you have you have a show coming out.
A show.
Yes, you have a show coming out that I think is in like some kind of alternate parallel universe or something like that, and it's going to star Lance Reddick as Albert Wesker.
Okay.
So yes, we have a black Wesker. Therefore, I would be watching every episode.
I mean, he'll nail it. He'll nail it.
Yeah. Yes, I know he's great, right? And then I believe the other two heroines, they are Wesker's daughters.
Okay.
So this should be very. I could be wrong on that, so might want to fact check that. But there are two heroines, and I believe they are Wesker's daughters, and it takes place, like I said, in like an alternate universe. So in a way, this kind of makes sense for Capcom to release an extra DLC for Resident Evil 8. Because they're keeping the conversation going around their what I believe to be Capcom's highest selling franchise. For the next, I don't know, year and a half or so. So
is it not Monster Hunter at this point? Is it still Resident Evil?
I believe it's Resident Evil, yeah, because Resident Evil's been out longer than Monster Hunter has.
Well,
I think that's only reason why.
I'm for it. I think that'll be great. I didn't know if there's anything at the Nerd or Netflix Nerd Week or Geek Week, whatever they're calling it over there, if they did anything with it there. But that sounds awesome. Like, I'm really curious to see how those shows get translated over.
Well, I mean, the movies were great. So
hey,
absolutely.
Cult following.
Is that sarcasm?
It's a little bit of sarcasm. There's maybe like 1.5 good movies in there somewhere when you put
the Resident Evil franchise. Yeah. The first one was cool. The first one was like okay. It was like whatever.
Yeah.
And then it just went full on like camp. Like I was like, all right, buddy,
right.
I'm checking out.
So moving on over here to something with Monster Hunter Rise, there was the connection.
A different Capcom film franchise, the
Monster Hunter, the one that's the real deal there. Monster Hunter Rise is going to get. So I think we knew this before E3, but it's getting a crossover with if you have a save file for the game. I'm sorry, if you have a save file for Monster Hunter Rise, there'll be a crossover for the new Monster Hunter Stories, where it's going to bring some of the gear over, and there's some new unlockable content as far as cosmetics go that will be available here soon for that game. And what I was surprised by was they talked about this demo for Monster Hunter Rise, or I'm sorry, Monster Hunter Stories, that will be, I guess, the 25th of June, right? So this next week we'll have that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they said that any of your save data for that demo will carry over to the full release, which sounds really cool.
And that's also really soon. That's July 9th. So both of these things are coming like back to back.
And I mean, I think that we've talked a lot about Monster Hunter on here, but is this a game that you think you'll check out, Patrick? Did you play the first Monster Hunter Stories?
No, I still haven't beaten Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
Okay.
Because I keep starting over.
Sure.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah, I mean, and that game is perfect enough as it is. I don't need any more Monster Hunter, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The game is so good.
That is fair. Like stories is so much different though. Like this is a JRPG, whereas the other Monster Hunters are Monster Hunter games. The way they are. This is pretty traditional. I love the first one. It was one of my favorite games when it first came out on the 3DS. And I'm so excited for this one. It looks good. They didn't get too much into gameplay, at least not into this trailer. I think the Nintendo Direct had some more specific gameplay, but the announcements of the trial version that comes out on the 25th, that's pretty cool. I get to start playing that game earlier, and I couldn't be happier. And we still have our packed, right? Though each of us are getting one of the amiibos.
Yeah,
I got to make sure we get all those amiibo.
I think I'm going to put it right there.
Yeah,
I think that's where it's going to
go. Which ones are we set on?
I'm getting the Rathalos. I know.
You're right. Bobby got the good one.
You're getting the anime lady.
I'm getting the lady, of course.
And I think,
and then Johnny's getting a cat.
Yeah. So I just didn't have space for the anime lady over here, Chase. So I'm gonna.
Sure. You know what? To be fair, I'm the one who picked last in that.
Yeah.
So I was left with the anime lady. It's
Sure, Chase.
I'll take the anime lady.
Sure, you're left with the anime lady.
The other thing they brought up, which I've not played a lot of this series. Actually, I've played any of it. I've watched a little bit of it, but Ace Attorney. Looks like the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles was announced. Anything from you all on this? Is that something that you're into at all?
I have never played one of those games.
So these games haven't come to America before. The Phoenix Wright series has, but these are like in the same. They're the same franchise, but this takes place before. This is like an ancestor of Phoenix Wright, who's also a lawyer, but it's in like more ancient England. These games have never come out. I believe these. I don't know if these are remakes or if these are ports or what exactly they are, but this Great Attorney Chronicles franchise has never shown up here. And I think it looks really good. As a person who's played like an hour of the first Phoenix Wright game and found it to be kind of fun, but kind of fell off it pretty quickly, this looked really cool. I liked the visuals. I liked the voice acting. I think they've got some really cool stuff in there. They went through kind of one of the deduction. What do they call it? Like the dance of deduction or something like that. Like there are two modes. There's basically your detective mode and there's your courtroom mode. And they went through one of the detective mode things to kind of give you an example. And I really like the way they have some camera sweeps and some zoom ins on things that you can get to specifically, some accusations you can make. I just thought that looked really impressive. I don't know if I should play Phoenix Wright before digging into one of these, or if I should just jump into one of these right away. But I was really impressed with the look of this.
Very cool. Moving on here, it looks like they did some Capcom Pro Tour update, which I think focused more on their esports. I think overall that was about it. It seemed like a very abrupt presentation overall for Capcom. Not a whole lot outside of already some known quantities that we've known about for some time. I mean, I think the Monster Hunter Stories sequel was announced last year, wasn't it? So I mean, I get it.
I mean, it would have made more sense for them to just divvy up the things they had to announce with whatever platforms would make the most sense.
I agree.
Well,
I think,
they kind of did that too. Like they kind of just did both.
Like they paid to have the time with E3, and then they also made partnerships with these other platform holders.
It could be a thing about keeping their spot though. Like that is definitely a thing E3 was notorious with, of show floor space, where you'd have to
show floor?
Up. Yeah, but it's like you'd have to re-up, because if you left, then they'd sell it to somebody else, and then that company could keep it. So
it's the hottest show happening right now.
You had companies who were showing basically nothing, and they were just there because they needed to keep the space up. And I wonder if it's a similar thing of, hey, if you want us to show your shit next year, you can't just bitch out on this year. You gotta show us something. And so they just threw together their whateverest 20 minutes of footage they could and went, well, that's what we did.
Yeah,
it was thin and it was weak, and Capcom's got cool stuff in the pipe, and they didn't show any of it here. They didn't show any of it anywhere.
Yeah, it was very quiet.
Surprising.
Yeah, it was very strange.
Well, what else on Monday? What else you want to cover from Monday?
I don't think there's anything, man.
Should we just talk about Nintendo?
You and I had the casual Mondays. Nintendo was Tuesday. The casual Monday that we did, I talked a little bit about that indie showcase, and there were a couple things on there, but that show was also really thin and pretty weak.
Let's talk about Nintendo.
Yeah. Why don't we just jump into the next day?
Yeah. So, Patrick, where are you at with Nintendo? Like, are you a Switch lover? Are you a Switch player? Where do you land on Nintendo?
I have a Switch out of respect for Nintendo, but I'm not going to lie to y'all. I don't play it very often.
I get that. I have not been playing mine
Bobby
a whole lot.
hates the Switch.
Not hate the Switch. There is this fucking false narrative that's been created on this show that I hate the Switch.
You're right. We came up with this theory after you said, "Man, I hate the Switch."
Got him.
I never said it. Never said those words. What I said is,
check the tape. I don't know which tape.
Look,
could be from a few months ago, but Bobby said it at some point.
We got the tapes.
Chase, I'm just better than the Switch now that I have a PC. I'm not trying to play 30 frames at 720. You hear me?
All right. Guess you're not interested in Breath of the Wild 2 then.
That'll be on the 4K Switch, Super Switch, which
who knows? That might
I know shit. So let's talk. We're gonna let this play. Chase, it would be my genuine pleasure to let the resident Nintendo hero take us through the presentation if you want to.
I can run through things. There was a decent amount of stuff. We don't need to cover everything, but
especially anything that's on the Switch, because that thing sucks.
Should we start with how they trolled everyone?
They troll everybody, Johnny.
In the very beginning?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure. So opens up. It's a shot of a dead Ganondorf. And you're like, oh man, opening with Zelda? Nope.
Oops. All Super Smash Brothers.
It was quick, but it was. I got it. I started to get it pretty immediately once you got to see the volcano. Mm-hmm. This is Tekken. And Bobby, did I not on Monday? We were talking about who might be the Smash thing, and I said it would not surprise me if it was another traditional fighting game guy.
Yeah.
I said it wouldn't be Geese Howard because he's already in Tekken, I believe.
Yeah, he's in Tekken
as a DLC. I was like, I could see somebody maybe from Virtua Fighter. I didn't specifically say Tekken, so I guess I'm not 100% right, but I'm going to take that one. I'm going to give Patrick credit.
It was either that or another sword person.
Patrick, where do you land with Tekken? Are you a Tekken fan?
Huge, ginormous Tekken fan. I'm kind of mad I forgot about this particular announcement because I play. So the only game I do play on my Switch really is Smash.
Okay.
I love Smash Brothers. It is a way of life.
Okay.
Amongst my other group of friends, we haven't gotten together to play it in a while. But yeah, this is a very exciting announcement to me because I love Tekken and I don't know how you pronounce his name. Kazuya. Yes.
Kazuya.
Yes, Kazuya. Yes, I love Kazuya. Rest in peace, my man Heihachi. By the way, but yes, I love Tekken. I'm so hyped for this. Because for Smash, for me, I play. I don't play sword characters really. I play like very aggressive.
Oh, then you've only got like 2 characters to play with.
I know, Little Mac, basically. And let me tell y'all, I'm dangerous with Little Mac.
All right.
Dangerous. So another fighting game character like him or Terry Bogard, yes, give them all to me. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, this is great. I love this.
That's awesome, man. Do you ever stream that at all? Do you ever stream?
No.
This is just more behind closed doors.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nobody can stream
Just for
Nintendo
Patrick.
stuff.
Yeah, like I'm a completely different
Don't tell
person
him.
when I play Smash. I'm a completely different person. I wouldn't want to ruin my image amongst y'all by streaming.
Why have we never played Smash together?
Because I don't want you to see that version of me, Johnny. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
You never
Like-
seen me play Smash. You don't know what I could be like.
I've seen you play Smash though, and I'm confident.
It's not I'm not saying I'm like very good or very bad. I'm just saying another side of me comes out that I don't like, that only one other group of friends have seen, and we all
His
share that
dark
side with
Katsuya
each other.
comes in.
Yes, exactly. Yes, the
Yeah.
double gene comes out. So yeah, so I try to keep that under wraps. You know what I mean? You gotta hold some shit close to the chest. You
Is
know
it
what I mean?
like this is Dr. Jackal, but when you're playing Smash, it's Mr. Hyde?
It's way beyond Mr. Hyde, bro.
Oh,
It's
God.
Oh
way-
my God.
yeah,
Now I
it's
have
it's
to.
way
I have
toxic.
to.
It is completely toxic. Like friendships have been ruined.
I love it.
It's
I love
bad.
it.
I mean,
It's
you're just describing Smash Brothers.
bad.
I
yeah.
don't-
Johnny's gonna walk in the room and tell everybody what did you say when somebody got to play your precious Wii without you? What did you call them? Like dick noses or something?
Hey, dickweeds.
Dickweeds. Yeah, that's how Johnny's gonna get. He's gonna be like, hey, listen here, you dickweed.
Hey,
Yeah.
To get us
yeah.
slightly back on track here, I thought Kazuya looked pretty good. He's very combo
Very
heavy.
well done,
which is
Chase.
kind of interesting for
Uh-huh.
Smash. And I liked the rest of that teaser they did. Him throwing off Ganondorf, him throwing off Marth, a bunch of characters. The Kirby one was quite
And
good.
Kirby, yeah.
Very
that was
good.
a good way to. Yeah. I
And
like
we're
that.
going to get a full preview of this character.
Like we always do.
One of Sakurai's incredibly long. Hey, let me tell you everything this character has ever done in their entire
Which
life.
I love. He is
They're
such
great.
a fanboy. He is such a fanboy. He's so good.
He's
They're
so pure.
amazing, and I'm so glad they do them. But I'm also glad it wasn't part of the direct this time, and it was just like, hey, we'll move it to
Agreed.
the side. We know that nobody here wants to see 30 minutes of Smash Brothers shit while they're waiting to see if other announcements are coming. So
Right.
that made sense, and that's
Yeah.
coming the 28th. So we'll get to see that full breakdown, and looking forward to that. Let's see the next thing. Let's just talk about the elephant. Metroid Prime 4 not here, but you know what was here? Metroid 5. Did I watch this right?
Yeah.
When it said Metroid 5, and then it never said Metroid 5 again, and just kept saying Metroid Dread.
So,
What the fuck is Metroid 5?
Apparently, Super Metroid was called Metroid 3.
Okay.
So they've done
Okay.
this before. But
We
yeah,
have
it's-
Metroid, then Metroid
Metroid.
2: The Return of Samus, which was a
then
Game Boy
Super
game.
Metroid,
Super Metroid 3,
Metroid Fusion
is 4.
Metroid
Okay.
Fusion on
and
the
this
GBA, which
5.
is a fantastic video game.
Okay.
And then Metroid 5, aka Metroid Dread.
And
My-
Zero Mission is a remake of 1, and Samus Returns is a remake of 2.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm about to drop a bomb on y'all right now.
Okay.
Yeah?
This is game of the show. Period.
Really?
Yes.
Dread
Yes.
was. Okay.
Yes.
People were excited. Apparently, this has been in development for a long time. This
It
name has
was-
been thrown around for a long
Yeah.
time.
I guess there was a DS game that got canceled that was called Metroid Dread. And it actually got shown off to some people, and then they canned it.
Mhm.
So is there any, aside from like the Mother 3 people, are there a group of, I guess maybe F-Zero fans,
Yeah, F-Zero's up there.
maybe Star Fox fans?
And now Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild fans.
Golden Sun fans, right here. Golden
That's
Sun
right.
fans.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
How are you?
Getting pretty fucked over since,
Yeah. But yeah,
it
this is
looks.
a game. Go ahead,
Like
Jay.
I don't particularly like Metroid games, Metroidvanias. I've tried. I really just can't get into that genre. I think this one looked good though. They showed what they needed to show. It looks like it's got this. It looks like somebody took Dog out of Half-Life 2 and then like put a coat of Portal paint on him.
Yep.
And then it's like, fuck it, throw him into Metroid. Why not? It seemed interesting. I wonder if that's going to be more like
One
a
second.
Resident Evil 2 Mr. X guy who is just chasing you throughout the whole thing, or if it's going to be more of a something that you turn into a companion that you use to solve puzzles and do stuff. I could honestly see either direction from what they showed.
So from my understanding, it's going to be those little dogs or those little robots that you see. There are multiples of them throughout each area, and they will chase you down if they detect you, which kind of goes back to the whole gameplay design of Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance, which just like Johnny said is an amazing game. If you all haven't played it, please find a way to play it. It is so good. But yeah, like I said, this is game of the show for me. Period. I love Metroid. Super Metroid is one of the best games ever created, and just more of these kind of Metroidvania games. Yeah, I'm all about. Give it to me.
And you get it this year too, which is fucking great. Like that was
that was the most surprising thing, really.
October, right?
Coming out this year.
8th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My birthday month. Give it to me.
Hell yeah. Well, Chase,
very cool, and new amiibo.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you,
right?
like, are you gonna get those?
2-pack. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay.
They've been popping up on pre-order.
They're nice, but like, I don't.
Yeah, and after that, we got something that nobody was asking for, right?
Well, speak for yourself.
Like the thing I'm looking at is not necessarily in order, so I don't know.
What is it?
Oh, the Mario Party Superstars.
Oh no.
Is that where we're going?
They kind of already done this, right? Like they did a Mario Party, the 100 best mini games, right? And now this is like a different classic collection of Mario Party stuff, but they're actually was it bringing like 4 of the Nintendo 64 courses? So it's like kind of a remake of one, but also kind of a bunch of extra shit.
Yeah, and I don't know. Mario Party's fine for the people that like those games, but they seem bad every time I've ever played one.
Well, I think it makes a decent amount of sense for the Switch, though. Like that is a popular enough system.
Yeah.
Enough people have them. That first Mario Party, what was that? Is Super Mario Party? Is that what it's called? That seemed interesting, but different in a way that it was a lot of gimmicky stuff of putting Switches together. This seems to be like a more traditional Mario Party, and for the people who like Mario Party, there you go, I guess.
Well, and now you have another reason to re-up your Switch Online subscription. Because this is now going to have, right out of the gate, instead of waiting a while for an update, you'll be able to have that online play starting in October. So
wouldn't it make more sense just to sell this as an expansion for the existing Mario Party on the Switch?
Let me back
I don't know
up the
if
tape
they
real
have
quick.
the architecture for that. Like I don't. This game might play differently enough from.
I guess
this one is
and also
it's $60 too.
$60?
This is $60.
Johnny, people will pay it.
I guess, yeah. It's Nintendo.
That's Switch tax, baby.
Who are these people?
This is just obscene.
Nobody here, but there are people. There are dozens of us.
Dozens. Chase, where are we going next on this journey with Nintendo?
Let's talk about Life is Strange. We already heard a little bit about Life is Strange from the Square Enix event, but we got a trailer, an animated trailer that kind of threw me off. It's like, this isn't what is this? And then you saw the girls on the train, and you go, oh, this is Life is Strange stuff. And they just announced that Life is Strange True Colors, which is the third Life is Strange game, that is going to come to Switch. I believe was that day and date with the other versions?
Yep,
I think it was. And then the collection, which just got announced, which is Life is Strange 1 and the Before the Storm prequel.
Yep.
Those, which is a standalone thing, those are both coming to Switch later this year.
Okay.
So if you like Life is Strange but don't like the second one, this might be for you. It feels like every time one of these games get mentioned, one of the 3 hosts in our group chat says, "Man, I should really play Life is Strange," and it's been all 3 of us at different points.
Yep. I have them all. Like I've got all of them. I mean, shit, they were available on various like free services that you would have, or paid free services. But then I think there was a pricing error one time on Amazon, and I got the deluxe Before the Storm or whatever it's called for like $3.
Yeah.
So yeah,
They seem like good games. They really do. They do interesting stuff with that series, and I watched when Giant Bomb did the playthrough. I watched that, so I feel like I've done the first one, but I was really excited for that second one, and then just bought it and never played it, and I feel bad about that.
yeah.
It was also at Square Enix, and I believe Bobby and I talked about it on either Monday or Sunday, but there was the Guardians of the Galaxy was shown. That's coming to Switch. That was pretty amazing
coming to
me.
Switch?
Yeah, I did not expect that game to come to Switch, but that's coming out when it comes out everywhere on October 26th.
Oh my!
And that's
okay.
Johnny,
yeah. Is it? Do you think it's going to be one of those cloud-based things like some of the other ones have been? I mean, Doom Eternal though that runs on this runs as a.
And that's
whatever, but
that is a feat in and of itself.
Yeah, I imagine there's going to be some pretty heavy compression technology that goes into that, or
and maybe it gets better. Maybe an update comes if and when a Switch Pro comes out. Maybe something like that starts to make
But then
sense.
again, this game is coming out on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yep.
That's true.
So it might not be that hard to port it to the Switch.
I'm excited for this game. The more I've watched it, I think a single player game like this could be cool. And I like the Guardians. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby played Avengers, and he's like, "This game is great. I trust everything Square Enix does with Marvel, so I'm definitely going to play Guardians of the Galaxy."
Chase, I didn't say the Switch sucks, and I didn't say that game was great. I said the single player story
Anthem
was strong.
is my favorite game.
I did
Bobby
say that.
P.
I like that game. I like that one.
But I will say I was very surprised at how good that game looks. I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy that much. Just as a franchise, I really don't like it that much. And
I like that first movie a lot.
I like the second movie a lot more. Yeah, I didn't like the first one at all. But yeah, this game, it looks okay. Like it looks like I watched a playthrough on IGN today, and it looks like it's going to be very like conversation heavy, and you'll have like choices to make with your teammates and the dialogue trees and stuff like that, and then also you can give them commands in battle as you only play as Star-Lord, which is something I was not happy about at first because I think Star-Lord is insufferable, but the combat and commanding your teammates, that looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'm in. I'm just gonna have to try to ignore Star-Lord as much as possible.
And I like the way they integrate music in there as well. Like the way that you kind of have like a super attack that you can start, and it starts the cassette and it's playing licensed music. That's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, that was cool. Yep.
Let's see. Let's talk about WarioWare. That was kind of a surprise. So like hand in hand, I was very excited for whatever Intelligent Systems was going to show, hoping for a Fire Emblem remake or a new Fire Emblem game, some Fire Emblem announcement. I did not get that. I got another thing that we'll talk about later, and then this is another thing that IS is doing, and that is WarioWare Get It Together, which is coming out September 10th of this year. It's a new WarioWare.
You both got really excited in chat. Like I didn't realize that you were this into WarioWare.
Dude, WarioWare's
you
fucking
obviously
awesome.
have not listened to my Gamers on the Go episode about WarioWare that I did with friend of the show Zach Fleeman.
I haven't.
I haven't played a WarioWare game in quite some time, but
they haven't made one in quite some time.
But it's so much fun. It's like I think this would be a great game for you and Sarah to play together.
Okay.
They did make that WarioWare Gold collection.
Yeah, on the 3DS.
It was like a collection of stuff on the 3DS, and that was okay, but it wasn't a new WarioWare.
No. Yeah, they're so silly, and it's so easy to just jump in, jump out, spend 10, 15 minutes playing some of these micro games, and I'm really it's pretty cool that you can play them cooperatively now. I'm excited.
It just seems like everything's a meme in it.
I don't know about that. I mean, there's a lot of fun references to other Nintendo franchises. In fact, the only Fire Emblem news we got is there's a mini game based on the Tea Time from Fire Emblem Three Houses. It's going to be a micro game in there. Yeah, there was an Animal Crossing one. It looks like that'll be kind of fun. That's we'll see. I like that it being on the Switch. It's probably going to be more button control stuff, and I've always enjoyed those WarioWare games more than the smooth moves or the touch or those kinds. And I think that'll be nice.
That game where you have to unroll the toilet paper really quickly.
That is, that's a classic. That is definitely a classic on touch. I think my favorite is actually Twisted. It's the shaving one. We have to go back and forth over the guy's stubble. That's a good one. I like that one too. And anything they do with picking noses, I think those games are
always good.
Yep. Shin Megami Tensei 5 SMTV,
which was announced when the Switch
was announced 5 fucking years ago. But it's coming out this year, November 12th.
I need to pause this really quick, not the show, but I got to ask some questions about this. So,
all right.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Yes.
This has things from Persona in it, correct?
So
the opposite way. Persona has things from SMT in it.
So SMT and then Shin Megami Tensei Persona came from that.
Okay.
Persona's a spin-off of
So Persona's kind of like the Forza Horizon to Forza.
Yeah, so you know the negotiating that you did with the demons in Persona 5?
Yes.
That is from SMT. So that mechanic, I don't know if you noticed in Persona 4, was not in that game.
I would say the real difference here between SMT and Persona is that you don't have party members like you do in Persona. You don't have other student friend guys. You have demons. When you are talking with the demons and negotiating with them, you're negotiating to try to get them on your team, and then you use them kind of like Pokemon in SMT5. So you are bargaining with demons to get them on your side.
Patrick, you're a big Persona fan.
Right.
Have you played any of these? Like, what's your excitement for something like this?
I'm ready to dive in. I've never played a Shin Megami Tensei game, and considering it's the mother franchise of Persona, I think it's time for me to dive in. To be honest with you,
okay.
How long are these games typically? How long are these games?
I have to imagine they're pretty long. Bobby, is you testing the waters to see if you're going to pick this up or not?
I mean, I really like Persona 5 a whole lot, but Persona 4 felt a little old for me going to it after 5 especially. So if there's something that has those mechanics from the game, which I do like, with a fresh coat of paint on it, I'd be curious. I don't know if I'll care about this as much because I really like the social stories and like building the team members up on those, but we'll see.
Yeah. If I had to guess, this is not the franchise for you, Bobby. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is a little darker in tone. This is not as fun school stuff.
Yeah.
I believe it's traditionally thought of as a little bit harder than Persona. I mean, Persona can certainly be hard if you throw the difficulty up, but these games I think are more traditionally difficult. It's a little bit more questionable on some of these things, like even the things that are super effective in Persona are not in SMT. They've kind of got their own thing. So even you'll see demons, you'll see things that's like, oh, I fought one of those in Persona. It's weak to ice. I'll throw an ice thing on it. It's like, nah, not in this game, buddy.
Okay.
So you kind of have to relearn a bunch of stuff. And even the negotiations seem to get really esoteric, where sometimes you need to tell a demon you don't want them to be on your team for them to go, well, screw you, I'm going to be on your team then. So it is very, it's a game I probably would end up playing with a guide if I was going to play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Patrick for sure is getting it. Chase maybe. Johnny.
I'm a maybe. I have Persona 4. I have a SMT 4 for 3DS, and I've never loaded that up. And I think that's probably a game I'd want to try before jumping right into 5.
And as far as like length is concerned, it looks like these average around 40-45 hours for the main story, over 100 if you're going to be a completionist.
Okay.
So definitely get your time's worth.
Yeah. If you like Japanese games though, Danganronpa. That's how you pronounce it. Danganronpa.
I've heard this name for a really long time.
Yeah, same.
But I have no fucking clue what it is.
Well, let me tell you what this game is. All right. So
yeah, please. Bobby the
Danganronpa is basically an academy game where you go to school and you have to deal with a mascot that's gone bad. Based off of that, you're going to be looking at some first-person mechanics with photography. You're going to be doing a little bit of sleuthing. A lot of the writing is going to be heavily focused off of this relationship with the mascot. But yeah, I mean, pretty straightforward stuff. If you're following along, like I don't see where the
Bobby, would you say these games are similar to the Nonary games?
No, I wouldn't. Actually, I think that these are going to go down a different path. I think Nonary is going to be a little bit more, not as dark, especially not as dark.
Can you name your favorite Nonary game? Because I know you're really big into that franchise. They made 3 of them, so I'm sure you could.
Yeah, Nonary after the Tide is my favorite one.
That's really nice.
Which one is that? Is that the second one?
It's the third one. It's a prequel though, but
so
it takes place before it's the third release, but it takes place before the first.
So it's not like it's not like a New Hope Empire Jedi thing. It's like
deeper.
I don't know how deep I can go with this.
Deeper. Dig deeper. You're in the fucking core of the earth, buddy. Okay, so the Nonary games are 999, 9 persons.
None of that was true, by the way.
Hours, 9 doors, or whatever.
If you didn't know.
Yeah. Anyway, they're kind of like mystery games. This is similar. It's kind of like an adventure game, a bit of a pixel hunt, some puzzly stuff in there. But these are adventure mystery things. In Danganronpa, it's a little sillier. It's kind of trying to be like fake Saw. There's this weird bear who's kind of like half Teddy, half Jigsaw.
Oh, cool.
And also apparently like it's a school where the kids murder each other, maybe, or have to solve the murder mystery for them to leave. It's another kind of Saw-based thing, but apparently these games are pretty well loved, and they made 3 of them, and now they've made a 4th kind of spin-off. So there's a collection of these that's coming to Switch called Danganronpa Decadence, and then
they could have called it Danganronpas, and that would have discovered all of this.
So that has the first 3 games, and then the 4th game, and apparently also all of these games are coming separately if there's only one that you wanted. But then this last one is called Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp. Where, all your fan favorite characters from Danganronpa get together in some weird island party game looking thing.
I don't think so. I don't think this is the one for me.
Really? But you're such a big Nonary game fan.
Yeah.
We got some Hyrule Warriors expansion info. This was actually weird because they were winding down the show. They said, this is going to be our last announcement, and then it was Hyrule Warriors. And wait, what? What? No, this is not the way you end a show. And then it wasn't.
Was on the verge of being so upset.
Yeah,
it was very odd. But they showed off this expansion. It looks like they're adding more cool stuff to that series. They're bringing the motorcycle in. They're bringing some new characters and places. I think it's 2 packs of DLC, 2 waves. The first one comes out pretty soon, and then the other one is a lot later. June 18th is this first one, so that's pretty
2 days
soon.
from now.
If you're listening to the podcast version, it's today.
It's today. Download it. It's $20. I like that game a whole lot. I'm with Johnny on this one. Like, this was not the Zelda news I wanted. I'm not upset that we're getting it. It's just not what I wanted. And
good news, Bobby. This is not the way they actually
right.
I guess them thinking it was a Zelda block was enough for them to think that was ending the show. So the next thing we got was also not the last announcement of the day, but it's a Legend of Zelda themed Game & Watch, similar to the one they did for Mario.
Oh, thank God.
I'm going to point out that most of the games they're putting on this thing are still not Game & Watch games. You keep making Game & Watches and putting NES games on them. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, hang on now. There is a Game & Watch game on there.
There is a Zelda themed version of I think it's called Pest.
Yeah,
that's the one where you whack the moles. Which is similar to what they did with Mario. They had a version of Ball that Mario was on that Mario themed Game & Watch. So you can get that. That comes out. It can also be a watch, as that's the second part of the thing. Yeah, that comes out November 12th, and then I'm going to make Bobby wait for it. I'm going to talk about something else that happened, and that was the thing that mattered to me. They said the name, Bobby. They said the name.
Martha.
Advanced
Martha.
Wars.
Yeah.
Okay,
Chase.
Take us away, Chase.
I need to know.
Yes.
Visually.
Yes.
How are you finding this?
I'm I'm a little on the fence. I think the original Advance Wars games 1 and 2. That's what got announced here. It's called Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Funny.
It's a name.
It's a remake of the first 2 games. It's being done by Way Forward, so the Shantae people, and that I think explains the look.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yep.
And I don't mind it, but also those original 2 games I think look perfect with their pixel style.
So iconic in a way.
It's The good news is that there's this little thing called the Analog Pocket that's coming out later this year, and if I want to play the original first 2 Advance Wars games pixel perfect and on a big screen TV, I'll have a way to do that. I guess I technically have a way to do that because I have a Wii U that has the Advance Wars on it, but this is a better way.
Look, you've been asking for this.
Yeah. I mean, I've been asking for a new Advance Wars.
Yeah.
We've been hard on the Fire Emblem train for a long time, which I love. Don't get me wrong. Love the Fire Emblem over here. But Intelligent Systems had another great strategy franchise called Advance Wars, and that had kind of been left to die for a long time after the DS game Days of Ruin, which honestly wasn't all that good. So I kind of understand why it went away.
Do you think this remake is them testing the waters a bit to see?
I do.
Hey, should we make a new Advance Wars?
I especially think it is because Way Forward's doing it and not Intelligent Systems. That they're giving it to somebody else tells me, we're not putting a ton of manpower into this, so it's not a big deal. We'll let somebody else handle it. I could see that being a test run for, do people still care about this franchise, or do we need to keep going on with the Fire Emblem? And I'm honestly okay either way. I love Advance Wars. I would definitely play a new game in the series. But if they do want to go back to Fire Emblem, I am also perfectly fine with that because I love both of those franchises. So that was cool. It's got, like we said, it's got that new look to it. I think the board actually looks cool. It looks like it's more a table that you're using these toy miniatures on. I like that presentation stuff. Apparently, there are going to be a bunch of new added things in there. We'll see exactly what that means. But it also, I believe, has online play, so that'll
co-op,
be cool
right?
too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, there are modes that you can do that's like 2-on-2 battles or 2-on-1 battles, and those games have always had really cool level editors. So I'd be really interested to see if they bring the level editing in there as well, because those are always pretty cool.
Chase, let's talk about Mario and Rabbids while we're doing some strategy here.
Okay, I mean, we kind of already did that on Ubisoft's stream, and I don't think they really showed off much more here, did they?
Not necessarily. I just know that I'm really excited for this game, so I want to talk about it again.
Sure, go for it.
I think it.
This is next year, right?
This is 2022. Okay. And Chase brought up a point when we were doing the recap over the weekend, and I agree with him that this looks like it's going to be borrowing heavily from the Galaxy, and bringing some of those elements into the game, which sounds really cool. I love this game. I think that people have slept on it because it has Rabbids in the title, but this is one of the best games you can get on your Switch. It is so good, so well done. It's better than it has any right to be. DLC is great on it, and I'm excited that they're doing another one. I've kind of jokingly talked about them doing another one of these with YouTube, and the game must have done well enough for them. Obviously, they're doing this one here, so it's
as good of an XCOM game as you can play that is not XCOM.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but now you can play XCOM on your Switch.
You can.
It's only XCOM 2, the bad one, and it also doesn't run great. And it's also a really huge file.
But it's there.
But you can.
But it's there.
You have the option.
What's next for us?
I mean, there are lots of little smaller things. There's a Super Monkey Ball collection of games. I think that is on their 20th anniversary.
I've never played a Super Monkey Ball game.
Neither have I. They look cool.
Should I pick this up?
You know what? I bet your son would like this series.
I don't know. It's not Minecraft.
True, but it does have a lot of things that look square in it, and he likes squares and cubes. Right. He likes Minecraft, so maybe
I've only played one of these on an iPhone. Like when games came to the iPhone and like the accelerometer was a thing, and you could control the monkey ball with your phone tilting. I thought that was cool as shit back, around 2010, and that was my first time playing one of these.
Yeah, like I think the Wii one was pretty popular for the same kind of reason with the accelerometer stuff that was there. Yeah, I mean that should be a good time. We saw Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. If you want a bad looking version of two amazing games, get it on the Switch. If you want it to look good, get the real ones.
If it's your only means of playing
if it's your only means, it looks fine.
You should pick this up because you should. It's amazing.
But you should also just get another system and buy them there.
I need to buy those games right now. I need to buy Tony Hawk.
Dude,
I need that.
They really.
I don't know why I haven't.
They did cover again Mario Golf. We got a little bit more about that. I think
that's coming out soon, right? That's next week.
That's the same day the demo for Monster Hunter comes out. Yep.
Okay.
Nice. Patrick, if you buy those on Epic Games, they're on sale, and you can get that $10 coupon, so you can get it for $16 right now.
Bro, I know. I got that $10 coupon.
Today's the last day for it.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Let's rush to the end here. There was really only one other thing that I think is really worth talking about. Bobby got his wish. We got to see a little bit more Breath of the Wild 2 or
Bobby
whatever.
Got his wish?
Yes, Johnny, I did.
Bobby's the one who cries about it every single fucking time. I mean, you also cry about it, but you're not. It wasn't in your top 5 games.
I love this game more
2.
than Bobby does, based on the conversation we had earlier today.
No, that's not true.
You know what? Good point.
No, that's not true.
Bobby hates the Switch and he hates Breath of the Wild. We know this.
Oh my God.
This is known. This is true.
All we talked about, Patrick, and listen, weapon degradation is bullshit in any game.
Yes, it is. Yes. That's why I don't like this game.
It suits Breath of the Wild so perfectly.
Don't be an apologist. It doesn't have to be there.
It's not apologizing for anything. It is integral to its design.
I agree with both sides. I agree with Bobby that it's the worst mechanic ever made. I agree with Johnny that it's integral to the success and interest of Breath of the Wild. And I agree with Patrick that because of those two things, I'm just not going to play more Breath of the Wild. It's fine. I don't have to play
you get weapons all the time. You're constantly being overloaded with weapons. It's never an issue. I don't know what the problem is.
It's a bad mechanic.
It's a bad mechanic, and you should feel bad.
I don't like it, generally speaking, but in Breath of the Wild, it is necessary to the experience.
So what did we actually learn from this trailer?
We got a few things that we got from it. You're going to go into the sky.
There's shit in the air now.
Yep.
Go for
Link
it.
can phase through some shit.
He's got a weird glove or maybe robot arm.
Fucking
sure.
No Sheikah Slate from the looks of it.
Gone. Arm controls it all.
Was that it? I got to admit, I kind of barely paid attention.
Things are in reverse in this. So there seems to be something happening with time moving backwards. And I don't know. Like one of the weird, crazy things I've been thinking about, like after processing the trailer, is if things are moving backwards in time, will you go back to the events that led up to Breath of the Wild? Like, could that be the case here? Or
even further?
Yeah, even further
past it. Yeah, are you going to get into the Hyrule Warriors era? Are we going to get Impa? Is young Impa with her cool-ass frogs going to be in Breath of the Wild?
Well,
at that point,
it's funny
I
you
might
say
play
that.
Breath of the Wild too.
Because, I mean, as we talked about on Game of the Year, Hyrule Warriors story delves deeply into time travel. And I'm curious if that's going to be a theme that gets brought. I mean, time's always been something in the Zelda franchise. It's been confusing as shit.
No, I don't think that's true.
I'm not sure that's true.
What? No.
The other thing that we learned.
Name one game where there's time travel in a Zelda game.
Phantom Hourglass.
I don't.
Well, that's just a sand in a thing. That's
Story of Seasons.
Yeah, exactly. Seasons,
Ocarina
right?
of Time. It's in the title. It's in the title.
I don't think that's true. I think you're making that up. Don't lie about.
Speaking of time, they finally confirmed what we all dreaded and thought. 2022 is when this game is going to launch.
Oh no, not 2022.
I just want one fucking thing to come out on time. That's all.
Look, man, COVID hit all these devs super hard.
And all the weapons in the game. I get it. You know,
I'm just glad Bobby's going to actually have to put a little effort into his top games this year. He can't just easily go, oh, I guess it's obviously going to be Breath of the Wild. You got to actually put in some effort. And Johnny can't just automatically say Elden Ring either. You guys actually have to do some work.
Now
play
Johnny's
some
going to have
real
to decide
games.
between a God of War game, a Breath of the Wild game, and an Elden Ring game in 2022 on what's going to be his darling.
And maybe Horizon.
Like I know I'm going to get screwed next year when it comes to Game of the Year because all the games that you guys care about come out at the same time. But you guys will have to fight it out and kill your darlings. It's going to be great. I'm just going to sit back and laugh. It's going to be amazing.
But you know, I'm excited they showed some stuff off for it. I do like the look of it. Link has some cool outfits.
That shaggy hair.
Shaggy hair looks good. I have to think that the elephant in the room for me is like there's no mention of any of the rumored Switch hardware for the Super Switch or the Switch Pro. This seems like the perfect game to launch beside that. I would have to think that sometime close to, if not directly on the same day, you'll get both of those. And my money.
Go ahead, Bobby.
I think that I think this is holiday next year. I don't think it's any time before that.
I was going to say maybe they try and time it with the 5th anniversary of the Switch, but that's still pretty early in the year.
It's March.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think holiday for sure.
I think it makes, I think on one hand it's weird they didn't mention Switch Pro, new Switch, whatever, because this is a big moment for that. At the same time, Nintendo can make anything a big moment. They can say, oh yeah, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct 3 weeks from now. And also, there's still a global chip shortage going on. So for them to come out and say, hey, we have a new console,
they could just be biding their time.
Buy it.
Yeah,
which I guess they've said before with things like the Wii and the DS and plenty of things that have been sold out that you can't buy. But
if you're not gonna get more details on what you got going on, I think that this Breath of the Wild trailer was great at asking more questions without giving away a whole lot. And they did come out and say during the Treehouse that the game has an actual. It's not going to be Breath of the Wild 2. It has an actual name, but the name will give away a lot of what's going on here. So they're going to hold that a bit closer to their chest.
Which is interesting.
Yeah,
because I mean, when was the last direct sequel to a Zelda game we had? Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
Majora's Mask, I think. Mm-hmm.
So it's I am beyond excited to see what they do with this. What?
Spirit Tracks is a direct sequel to Phantom.
Okay, sure.
So it's happened. It's happened
before. Let's talk about.
Also, sorry, on the Treehouse thing, they didn't show it in the direct, but on the Treehouse thing, they showed more of No More Heroes 3, which was weird. Why they showed off like 20 more minutes of that game and didn't give it any lip service in the direct, which
interesting.
I found funny.
That's strange.
Yeah, very strange.
Okay.
That's it. That was E3.
How did you all feel?
Bye, everybody.
It was this year overall.
I mean, my expectations were pretty low, just considering like we got all the games that were almost ready to ship last year during COVID, and then like development has been delayed because of COVID. So like my expectations were super duper low, and I still came out of it with a lot of games I'm really excited about, and some like a lot of which are coming out this year. So I mean, it wasn't the most razzle dazzle E3 that we've ever had, but there's still like I'm glad it happened, and I still got almost everything I wanted. So I feel pretty good.
I think it was kind of a microcosm of how we feel in 2021. Which is there weren't a lot of big new surprises that got me super hyped. It wasn't Final Fantasy VII Remake. It wasn't Last Guardian. It wasn't like some of those big things that make you go, holy shit, I can't believe they're making a third Shenmue game. That's not
Cyberpunk. Wait.
You know what? The hype of Cyberpunk was great. Cyberpunk, whatever, but the hype for Cyberpunk was awesome.
Was real, baby.
So there weren't a lot of those things, but there was a lot of small stuff, a handful of small surprises that got me excited. There were some big games that I was familiar with that ended up continuing to show off good stuff, good progress. And that was fine. I think they all did a pretty admirable job, except for maybe like Capcom. Capcom show.
Gearbox.
I get it, but like bring something. Gearbox, I had no expectations for, and they tripped over those lowest of expectations.
You know,
The dissenter has logged in.
Look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Borderlands 3 did not do it for me.
No.
Wow, Patrick. Now you're talking to 3 huge Borderlands 3 fans here. We're all big Tiny Tina fans, and we just loved her addition to that game.
I can't do that.
Y'all can't do Tiny Tina? Y'all don't like Tiny Tina?
No, Tiny Tina made me stop playing Borderlands 2.
I believe the Casual Hour voted her as the worst video game character of all time.
Oh my goodness! Well, y'all might kick me off the podcast for this because.
All right, well, Patrick, it's been great having you on.
I'm telling y'all.
Also, I'm excited to say that we're going to get new theme music next week. It's going to be great.
So you liked Wonderlands?
I loved Wonderlands. I'm ready for it. More Tiny Tina is a good thing.
Okay.
I think she's hilarious.
Bobby, strike that from the
I know,
version of the podcast. We can't have that slander.
It's real out here. It's real out here.
Let me ask you, what do you like about Tiny Tina?
I just love how obnoxious she is.
Okay, so we can agree on that at least.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yes, and it works for me primarily because the voice actress Ashley Birch, she goes all the way in.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a phenomenal actress.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. And
also voices Aloy in the Horizon.
Yes, she does. And honestly, the DLC, I don't know if you all played Tiny Tina's DLC for Borderlands 2.
I heard Assault on Dragon Keep was actually really good.
Yeah, and it was actually very, very sweet. I'm not going to spoil it. Oh, who cares? That game's old as shit. So basically in Borderlands 2, Roland dies.
Yep.
And the whole point of Assault on Dragon's Keep is Tiny Tina dealing with the grief of Roland being dead. Which is something I did not see coming at all, but it was actually very sweet. And it made me like the direction they were taking Tiny Tina. So I'm excited to see what they do with a full game about Tiny Tina. Could be bad, but also could be cool. It has
Andy Samberg, Wanda Sykes.
Yeah, Andy Samberg.
The cast, yeah.
Cast is great.
Like, plenty of great people in there.
And I think bringing Borderlands into a fantasy setting, fighting dragons with a bunch of big guns, that sounds, as a concept, it sounds pretty interesting. So,
do we know if they're guns or were there guns in the?
It's guns.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like casting in one hand. So they said that like rather than like having grenades and even like you'll have abilities that are going to be casting that you can customize out. The other piece of it that we talked about over the weekend. And Patrick, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think it's really cool that you're able to create a character and like have this character look and like basically you're rolling a character like in well, they call it Bunkers and Badasses, but D&D.
Yeah.
And I think that aspect is really cool. I think I even mentioned, had Tiny Tina not been associated with it, I'd probably be pretty excited to check this out, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm ready. That's day one for me. So
okay, and that's
Patrick.
Tony.
You're also pretty excited about the movie, then.
I am.
Yep,
I am. Yes.
What do you think about Kevin Hart as Roland? You think he can pull it off?
I think it's a very what's the word I'm looking for?
Bold.
It's bold,
audacious.
Yes, but Kevin Hart is taking this very seriously. That's one thing I can say about Kevin Hart as a performer. He never phones in anything that he does. So he's taking this role very, very seriously. So I'm excited to see what happens. And plus, it has Jamie Lee Curtis in it, and Jamie Lee Curtis is like my first crush ever because of True Lies.
And Blanchett, right?
Yes.
She was really good in Thor. So.
Yeah. So I'm ready for the movie. I'm excited.
Cool.
I will watch that movie. I think I will hate that movie, but I will watch that movie.
Yeah.
So
a casual.
And I will boo during the Tiny Tina parts. That's my casual hour promise to you, the viewer.
So we've heard from Patrick. So obviously, day one pickup. You're super into Wonderlands. Johnny, what about you? What was one of your picks that you really walked away from E3 feeling good about?
I mean, should I state the obvious? I'm super excited for Halo. Like I was
good.
I was really disappointed when it got delayed last year. I thought people were a little too harsh, even if it didn't look as good as maybe it could have.
At least the weapons work in that game.
It's true.
They do run out of ammo, though.
That's true.
They do.
That's true.
Bullets is just weapon durability when you think about it.
Yeah, so they dropped a little bit of a campaign sneak, but the big thing that they covered was the multiplayer, which is, I played through the campaign once, I'm good, and then it's all multiplayer all the time for me in Halo.
Man, those Spartans look real nice.
The armor looks great.
Looks way more fun than Crucible, that's for sure.
Yes.
I like that they're treating some of the power-ups like Overshield as an actual item that you can activate whenever you choose and not just walk over it and have it turn on. I think that's an interesting choice that they made. I'm not too crazy about the ADS stuff that they still have. Like aiming down sights doesn't feel like Halo to me. But
you want
I'm
to
fine.
That right stick?
Yeah, I don't know.
The battle
it's
pass
fine.
shit's awesome.
Yeah,
that is good news. If you're gonna do these shitty battle passes, at least don't make them expire.
Yeah, they don't expire. You can work towards whatever one you want. And the game it's free to play.
And crossplay.
Multiplayer is free.
Multiplayer and crossplay. I assume they'll be siloing keyboard and mouse players away from controller players. At least I hope they would.
I read somewhere
have that option.
The playlist.
Player
you can opt out. You can filter it that way.
And like the fact that I can throw a sticky grenade, have it bounce energy sword into my hand is really cool. Being able to grapple onto a vehicle or grapple a weapon that's a little ways across the map and grab it, or I can't remember the name. Is it the rectangles that explode? Grapple one of those and throw it into a warthog. Like it looks like a Halo game. And 4 and 5, again, that's probably more lenient than a lot of other Halo fans. I had fun with both of those, but it wasn't. I didn't play them as long as I did, 1, 2, 3 and Reach. Like I put years of my life into those other games, and with 5, it was like I played it for a couple months, and that was kind of it. So I'm rooting for 343 because this also kind of feels like if they don't get it right this time, then I don't know where Halo stands after this.
I bet they make another one after this. No matter.
I mean, sure, but like they need to really knock it out of the park with one of these.
They could use a win for sure.
Yeah.
Halo 4 and 5 were fine. I didn't like them, but I think they were generally thought of as fine. You had the Master Chief Collection, which was an unmitigated disaster for a very long time.
Yeah, but it's in a good place now.
That's what I hear.
But yeah,
and
it was.
The way Infinite got showed last year was pretty bad. I know Bobby and I mentioned on our what was that? Was that Sunday's podcast, Sunday show or Saturday show? We talked about how the campaign look that they did seemed very safe, being in a very dark space area.
Yeah,
they didn't have to show off a lot of stuff. They didn't show side by side comparison. Look at the brute face that you hated before, and look at how much better it looks now.
Right.
Like they didn't come out. Like they didn't come out guns blazing, which is what I wanted them to do. After it felt kind of like they came out as like a wounded dog.
My exact wording was they didn't feel very confident when Halo came up.
Right, totally.
And
that was a bummer. I think they were pretty confident when it came to multiplayer.
Correct.
And that's great, and I'm excited for the multiplayer. But unlike Johnny, I replay the campaigns of Halo games time and time again because they're relatively short, they're really fun, and they let you do a bunch of cool stuff in them. And I like the story stuff. Again, I'm the nerd who used to read Halo books, so I love the story of Halo.
Multiple Halo novels myself, Chase. Come on.
How many Halo novels about the multiplayer have you read? Johnny just reads the book once, and then he just does multiplayer with the book. He throws it at a bunch of people once. That's what he does.
Chase, what about you? Yeah. We've got Halo called out. We've got Wonderlands called out. What game are you excited for from all this?
Like real early, one of the ones they showed that I got excited about. This was Summer Games Fest, I believe. Was Metal Slug Tactics. That is one of those
cool as
incredible surprises. And I know it's got some problematic stuff being owned by Saudi princes or whatever for SNK, but the game itself looks really good, and not getting a new Fire Emblem and the Advance Wars that we are getting being older stuff that's being remade. This is a tactical game I think I can get behind. And it just it looks so good. It uses those original sprites. It has those awesome characters. I am not the biggest Metal Slug fan because I just don't love the way those games play, but I love the way they look. I love the character that's built into them, and I think it's going to make for a really fun tactical RPG, and that's super exciting to me.
Yeah, absolutely. This game looks 100%. Really good.
And it didn't leak. Like so many of the cool things, like Mario and Rabbids, I think that would have been a great surprise. But it leaked before. It's just disappointing.
Yeah, I shared that I was excited for that game as well. But the one that surprised me that I really like came from Devolver, and that is the Trek to Yami. And
yeah, that's on my list too.
This, I don't know if you've seen this trailer or not, but this Ghost of Tsushima didn't really do it for me. I got lost in it. It felt a little old and dated, but I think what this is doing really is walking that line for me of what I would want from that game. And holy shit, this game looks like a masterpiece. This will be a day one pickup for me for sure. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Side scrolling. The combat in this looks incredible. The sound design is so good. Do yourself a favor, go back and watch this when you can on a big screen with sound or headphones on because it deserves it. This game is going to be fucking stellar, easily.
Bobby, you and I talked about it on some of those weekend shows that we did, where Ghost of Tsushima had its Kurosawa mode that was kind of you just put the game in black and white. You didn't really do the effort into this, and this game looks to be all effort to make the Kurosawa mode of video games, and that is very exciting. We also talked
that's
about
a fair assessment. They had film grain and different effects that they did with that Kurosawa mode.
Okay, well, you're just an apologist, aren't you?
It's a fantastic video game. I don't care what anyone says.
All right. Well, apparently you don't care what we say, obviously. But this I think looked really good. I mean, Bobby and I mentioned a bunch of inside likes. I would call them this year that we got shown a bunch of 2D plain games.
Yeah.
With 3D. Well, not all of them were 3D stuff. Like we have Replaced, which might get mentioned later. But this one I think was the best of those.
Yeah.
And it just was really pretty, sounded great. I'm so jazzed to play this one. This might have been the coolest thing I saw in the whole show.
Patrick, what about you? Anything else that stood out?
From the Summer Games Fest?
Yeah. Or I mean, just the whole presentation.
Or anything.
Anything. E3.
Let's see. The Final Fantasy collection that they're putting out, Square Enix has put it out. I'm excited for that.
The Pixel remaster?
Yeah. I'm excited for that. I need to go back and play. I need to beat 4, and I need to play 6. So I'm excited for that. I'm concerned it's not coming out on consoles. It's only coming out on PC and PC and mobile. It's very, very weird.
That's weird.
But yeah, I'm excited for that, definitely. And again, just Metroid Dread. Give it to me. I'm so ready. I'm so fucking ready.
Hell yeah.
Like the fact that that's like a full on $60 Twitch game. Hopefully there's some good production value behind it. I mean, and from the trailer, it looked like it's going to be incredible. So yeah, that's it. Metroid Dread, baby. Give it to me.
Patrick, are you also excited for Metroid Prime 4, or is it more just these 2D Metroids that you're okay?
2D Metroids. I tried playing Metroid Prime when it came out, and it didn't grab me at all. So.
Same for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny, what about you?
Battlefield 2042
also looks good.
Looks like a hell of a time. They showed off the multiplayer for that on the Xbox Bethesda showcase.
That's all there is. There's no single player in that game.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Ooh,
which is probably, I mean, those campaigns.
But 64 on 64, 100 on Xbox. You got 128 player battles.
Yep.
I think that's the case. Well, not the player count, but I think the no single player campaign has been true for all of the future Battlefield games.
Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 both had single player campaigns.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, like the 2041 and 20.
Oh, okay. I never played any of those. So yeah, we got to see some of the multiplayer from that with
That's awesome.
the super storms that will sweep through the maps randomly, and it sounds like that isn't a like a timed event or anything. It can just kind of happen at any moment. And your usual Battlefield shenanigans. You got people strapping C4 onto ATVs and driving it off the roof of a skyscraper onto a helicopter and making it blow up. That's amazing.
So I know all that stuff's possible, but how staged do you feel that was? Like there were certain parts where if these maps are really as big as they say they are, and you have people who are ziplining from skyscraper to skyscraper, huge skyscrapers, are all of those levels of those skyscrapers going to be places that people can fight in the level? I wonder like how much you can actually condense players when you have maps that are that big.
I mean, like there's usually like on every map, there's certain choke points, areas that you're gonna.
They
always...
just showed on the trailer. They go into an elevator.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's like ground level.
Does that elevator stop at every floor, or is it maybe like only two?
Probably like the ground floor all the way to the top.
Yeah.
But I've had plenty of crazy moments like that myself when I've been playing the game, and that's why I like those games so much. It's because it can be so chaotic, and you can pull some crazy shit off, or see someone on your team do something like that. They did it in the CG trailer. But there's the classic, I think it's from Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 1942, the guy going up in the plane, ejecting, using the rockets to shoot the guy that's chasing him, blowing him up, and then getting back into his plane and flying away.
You want to talk about a wholesome ass moment? That dude was streaming the trailer reveal for that game, the guy that pulled that move off. And when they showed his move in the trailer and you get to watch his like genuine reaction to that, that was really fucking cool.
That's great. That's fantastic.
That was really fucking cool.
You won't see it in the wholesome direct, but it was quite wholesome.
It was quite wholesome.
Yeah. I'm super excited for a new Battlefield. I hope it's not as broken as those games can be when they launch. But I will be absolutely checking this one out. Like, probably the day it comes out. So.
Yeah, I'm day one with you for that one, Johnny.
Chase,
and it's my first one on PC, so I'm
sure.
Like, those have always been the place that they showcase those games, because their Frostbite engine like is very demanding of your hardware. So
like when Snoop and Zac Efron are smoking weed, they're playing Battlefield on PC.
Exactly.
That's
better believe it.
Chase, what about you? Anything else you want to mention before we wrap up?
Yeah, like another really nice little thing that just surprised me was Don't Make King Cabbage. We talked about this one also, Bobby, but it is looks like a visual novel, but it's kind of like it's very weird, it's very abstract, and it's apparently about a kid who is about to go on a job interview, but he's playing I think it's called a Dwayne Boy, which is basically just a Game Boy, except the batteries are apparently alive. It's very odd. But he starts seeing because he played the Dwayne Boy, the world around him is starting to kind of shape into a Pokemon style game, a monster collecting game.
Nice.
And just the way the music stuff that's in there, the visuals, it got an extremely short trailer during, I believe it was the Future Game show. And that trailer was weird and live action and claymation-y kind of stuff that the game doesn't necessarily look like, or maybe it turns into that, who knows. It just showed off really well. There's a demo that you can download on itch that's like the first 8 or so minutes of that game, and I didn't know about this thing at all, and then it became just one of those cool little curios where you're like, I need this, right? And so I'm excited to see what happens with that game and track its development. I follow the developer on Twitter. It's mostly just being made by one guy, and it seems really cool.
Awesome, man. Well, to wrap things up for me, there's just like 2 games I'll talk about really quick, and then I'll be done. Replace might have been one of my favorite things of all of E3, and this game came out of nowhere for me. The style, I have poured over this trailer multiple times on and off the show. I cannot get enough of how this game looks. The tone, the setting just does it for me in a big way. I need it now. I want it, and it will be on Game Pass, which is great. But I want to know more about it too. Like, it's been pretty vague. I've been following them on Twitter a little bit more to try and get bits and pieces, and I can't wait for it. I think replace.
And it's another one of those inside likes that we talked about. That 2D plane stuff. These are pixels though.
Yeah.
Like it's
full pixel.
It's got a really good look to it. I mean, you've got Square Enix going, oh yeah, the HD 2D look. And this is like, yeah, HD 2D, that looks cool, but look at what we can do with it.
Yeah.
And this looks incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
I can't get enough of that one. And then the other game we've talked a lot about on the show for a couple of years now, but I finally, and I can say, and I think Chase can join me here, we've played Sable. Like I've played this. Johnny, I don't know if you played it yet or not.
I did.
This game has hit all the right notes for me in the demo, and when it wrapped up, I immediately wanted more. And
I was so pissed when the demo ended.
I know.
You assemble your glider and you're ready to go, and then it's like, nope, you don't get to play it. I was like, oh damn, but I wanted it. I know, so bad.
I know. And the soundtrack, the score from Japanese Breakfast, was cruising around in that game was so perfect. The style, the way that they do day and night cycles and how the colors change with day and night in that game is really impressive. I didn't realize how much you'll have like dialogue stuff with characters and relationship stuff there, and I thought that was really well done.
The writing was nice.
The writing's really nice. Like for me, I think it's safe to say that this not only was one of my most anticipated games, it's now delivering on that expectation, and I'm excited that we have a September 23rd release date confirmed. It is also on Game Pass day and date, so we'll pick it up there. But Sable, those are two big things for me for this year, and I'm really pumped about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for this game as well. Shout out to Japanese Breakfast.
Yeah, hell yeah!
Oh, so good. I did not know about Japanese Breakfast before this, so now I've been making up for lost time for sure. When I played the demo, it could just be that I am on a launch Xbox One, but I had that game be a little framey, which it was a little hard to tell because that game is purposefully a low frame rate.
Your character moves at an odd frame rate than what the rest of the game does. So I don't know, because I was noticing that even on my computer.
But even then, I was getting hiccups for sure, like actual hiccups, and I think that's mostly just being on such old hardware at this point.
Yeah,
I have a very sad, lonely Xbox One.
Patrick, that demo is available on Steam right now, part of their Next Fest, so you can download that demo on Steam and check that out.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely.
Put some headphones on, man. Turn the lights off. Listen to that soundtrack, and cruise around in the desert. It's so good. What else? Anything else that we got to cover before we wrap it up here tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Johnny and I have at least one more thing.
I would be remiss if we didn't mention Forza Horizon.
Oh, okay, good. We're talking about the good
on it. Yeah.
Forza Horizon 5. We get a new Forza Horizon game. I absolutely love these games. They're my favorite racing series, and we're going to Mexico this time.
Yeah.
And they're partnering with Mexican artists to put their art into the game that will show up in these different towns that you visit. I know that it comes with Game Pass, but I'll probably do what I did last time and buy the one that comes with all the DLC and the car packs and all that shit, because I love these games so much, and it looks incredible. Which, I mean, a game with cars on a new system, it's going to look good. So it'll run 4K 60. The last thing for me, which is the biggest thing, and it was the thing other than Breath of the Wild 2, I was relatively unconvinced we would see, and it showed up at the end of the kickoff of Summer Game Fest, and that is Elden Ring. I know none of you guys give a shit about FromSoft or their games, but I am so incredibly excited for this. It looks obviously more like Dark Souls than what Sekiro was, but it looks like From is taking all of the things that they've learned over the last 4 games that they've made, 5, I guess, including Bloodborne, and it's culminating in this new open world experiment with writing from George R.R. Martin, who
So it'll
has
never
writ-
get finished, is what you're saying.
It's thank God his part was relatively small. They didn't have to wait around for him.
Maybe they did. Maybe the whole reason this game has been so delayed is because
Maybe you're right, Chase. Maybe you're right.
As somebody who's not into this series or Dark Souls games at all, I think the setting of this one looks interesting, but everything that goes into the gameplay in that setting, I don't like. But I think that the open world setting, I like what they're doing with like the horse or the mount riding that they have there.
Yep.
I think that's pretty cool, but I don't like anything else that I'm seeing with it.
Just very quickly, the arts for the different weapons actually are going to be transferable, so you can have different move sets that wouldn't normally go with a weapon that you can customize, and it seems like they're really opening things up for you to make the exact kind of build that you want, which is incredibly exciting to me. I can't wait to learn more about it. And it's coming out sooner than I thought it was. It's coming out January 21st of next year, so that's not that far away in the grand scheme of things. So
I'm happy for you, Johnny.
Thanks, Chase.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Oh, I got one.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, lay it on us.
Call of Duty Season 4.
Okay.
I know y'all don't play Call of Duty in here, do you?
I used to.
I do
used to be a big
sometimes.
Call of Duty fan.
Still,
Yeah, Warzone smacks.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah, Warzone smacks. So they have Season 4 coming out. And yeah, things are getting weird. We have zombies and monsters and all kinds of other stuff going on. I'm like, okay, so I guess Activision is embracing the more silly side and the more like fantasy side of Call of Duty, or they're creating a more fantasy side of Call of Duty. Sure, why not? Lean in, get campy, get crazy. Let's do it. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I was super surprised to see this show up at Summer Games Fest, but yeah, it was cool.
Right on. Yeah, they're doing the whole 80s bit, like bringing in movie characters and shit. It's getting super weird.
Yeah.
Chase, my man, what do you got?
I'm kind of tapped out. Like you guys mentioned a couple of mine, so I'm pretty good. Let me actually, you know what? Let me throw one other here that I had on my phone. Shredders. I thought Shredders looked pretty good. The Microsoft snowboarding game, or the snowboarding game that got showed off at Microsoft. I just thought that looked really nice. The way they were talking about being made for riders by riders, I think it's definitely more interesting to me than a lot of the zanier snowboarding stuff that we usually seem to get. I mean, we lost Patrick there. I love SSX Tricky, and those are fun. Like that's a fun time. But there is something about just the kind of this pureness of the snowboarding that seemed really cool to me. I mean, I also kind of like the Riders Republic from Ubisoft, which also has some snowboarding stuff in there. But as soon as I saw Shredders, Riders Republic just kind of went to the side and was like, this looks nice.
Yeah.
This looks fun and comfortable, and I just want to like chill, ride down a mountain and do a couple flips. And
I think it'll be really cool. Absolutely. And you know, I just want to shout out Game Pass. It continues to impress every year, and I think
27 of the 30 games Microsoft showed were Game Pass. Pretty impressive.
It's really impressive. So, you know, 2021 has been as we wrap up here, it's been an interesting year with just video games and them moving around. But I look at like what 2022 looks like, and you know, at the end of the year when we do our game of the year, we always break down and say, hey, what are we looking at ahead of the, like what's to come? And we joked about it, like there's a lot of games that Johnny and I will absolutely want to put on our top 5, top 10, top whatever. And I look at this year though, and this year already looks so different for me on the games that I've enjoyed and the games I've been playing, and like some of the games that I'm most excited about that I saw from E3 that I get this year are still very different than the games I traditionally play. And so like I downloaded today 20 plus demos from Steam for the Steam Next Fest, and like a lot of these,
and we're gonna quick look them all,
every fucking one of them. Buckle up, baby.
They're gonna be 1 minute quick looks.
Yeah, really quick. I mean, quick looks. But there's some really
we're just
cool
looking
shit.
at title screens.
That's it. Oh, based off this title, I say this is a good game. But no, I think that E3.
I believe the phrase is you can judge a book by its cover. That's the whole
Absolutely
point of everything.
But yeah, E3 this year I felt was overall pretty successful, given it was not really an in-person event again. I think the streams were for the most part done well, and I think that it was cool to be able to stay at home and watch a lot of that content and have the demos on Xbox, have the demos on Steam ready to go. I think that stuff's really cool. So it was fun to recap stuff over the weekend. This was a blast tonight to recap it as well and just put a nice bow and wrap up E3 here at the Casual Hour.
So one thing I want to mention real fast.
Yeah.
Do we not care about Starlink? Because that was a pretty big announcement.
Oh,
Or is it Starlink? Starfield. I'm
Starfield.
sorry.
Yeah, Starlink is the.
I mean, maybe if they'd shown the
It's
actual
Ubisoft
game and not just
that wasn't a CGI trailer. That was actual in-game. So like it wasn't that gameplay, but what they showed was rendered in-game, which looked pretty impressive. I'll give them that.
but you can dusty that up as much as you want. So I'll believe it when I see it. They're still using the potato engine.
Halo did the same thing.
That was
like
literally
all the
running
capture
from the
in-game.
game. Like I
using the in-game engine is not the same as what the finished product will look like.
That's fair, but I'm just saying that they've already produced something that looks good.
Forgive me for having some trepidation about Bethesda.
That's
and
fine.
how their next game is going to look.
That I'll give you.
Yeah.
I don't care how good this game looks. It's still going to be a
that
Bethesda game,
was
so I don't
bullshit.
care.
I thought it was bullshit.
My. There we go. Come
I
with
think,
the controversy.
Bethesda hasn't put out a good game since Skyrim. Fallout 4 was average at best. Fallout 76 was an absolute
He's just
dumpster
upset
fire.
because this game actually has a release date, unlike Halo. So he's just upset about that.
Halo comes out later this year. What are you talking about?
Let the shots fly. I'm all about
Starfield
this.
comes out November 11th, 2022. Halo comes out
He's on
holiday.
Weird Crusade. Yeah, Poppy's on a weird crusade that he thinks holiday this year is somehow past November of 2022.
All I'm saying is they have chipped away at my faith in them over their last couple of games they put out. All the bullshit behind, like, hey, this game's gonna be broke when we ship it, and boy, were they right. And like the way that they treat like publications and their fans at large, like it's just like, you know,
Maybe things will be different now that Microsoft is owning them.
we'll see. I mean, you know, they didn't have Andrew WK playing this year, which I guess is something a credit in their favor. But I was expecting more from Starfield. I wanted to see what this game is, not just, oh, here's some we're good to go, T-minus. Like,
It's kind of what the
Like,
Halo
tell me what
campaign
this-
trailer was.
we know what Halo is.
Oh, wait.
We know what
and
Halo
we've also
is.
seen gameplay of Halo. We've seen
Yeah.
real gameplay.
I've
We
seen
didn't like
Craig.
it, but we saw it.
They gave us a title card 2 years ago. They gave us a fully, like, whatever it was, teaser trailer. Like, we have no clue what this game is. We don't know what the gameplay is going to be like. You know, granted, it's a year and a half away.
Hey,
But-
Johnny, do you want me to give you a hint of what the gameplay is going to be like?
It's going to be Skyrim in space.
It's going to play like Skyrim and Fallout. Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
all
will
they know how to make.
absolutely play this game when it comes out because it'll be on Game Pass. But
Is this a good time for me to say that I was right also? I was just waiting to know when I should start to talk about that.
about which part were you right about?
That this was 100% the day that they bought Bethesda, their shit was going to be locked to Xbox.
sure,
Oh, well, I don't think any of us really fought you on
If
that.
you
I
go
said
back
there
and watch
was
any of
the
our clips on our
possibility.
Twitch page, we got the receipts ready for you, Johnny. I got the receipts lined up.
I never said with 100% certainty that it would.
Twitch.tv
Only
/
the-
the casual hour. Go to clips, look for one about.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
That's
God.
right there. It's ready.
Semantics, Bobby. Semantics.
I'm excited for
Yeah.
the game. I want to know more about it.
I am excited when they show us what the game is. Yes.
I'm not excited for the game, and I hope it never comes out.
Does that answer your question, Patrick?
I'm just glad y'all started arguing. That was tight. That was
Oh,
entertaining.
Patrick.
Y'all were getting y'all are way too chummy on this podcast episode.
I'm glad I can forward you some texts from this morning if you want to see some wimpy ass sniping at each other.
Oh man!
Every one of those shots hit.
I'm trying to get some car service done, and I'm just getting tweet over here. Weapon damage, sir.
Hey, Chase, guess what? You have a lot more in common with Breath of the Wild than what you think. Because those weapons are about as brittle as your fucking toes.
Got him. Bow.
Nice.
Got him.
Got it.
Anyway.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen.
So let's wrap up this show. If you like what we're doing here, we play games Mondays and Fridays here at 10:30, and we got a bit of an announcement tonight. We teased it on Monday nights, Casual Mondays, but we are moving our show forward a couple hours on Wednesday nights now, rather than starting at 7. Sorry, moving back. Sorry. Wednesdays we will be recording the same time we normally do.
Preston, good news for you.
Yes.
It'll only be 7:30 in the morning.
Yes, better for our friend Preston across the pond. We will be streaming Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10:30 p.m. now, and we'll record the show Wednesday nights at 10:30. That can always change. Yeah, Central Time. That can always change if there's like an interview or something we're going to do. But just giving my schedule with work and some of the community members that we have hanging out with us, it might make life a little bit easier. So thank you, Chase and Johnny, for the continued flexibility with the show. It might be a little bit cleaner too to say, hey, we Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10:30 p.m. Central. You can find us here on twitch.tv/thecasualhour. You can follow along those links there. We're at the Casual Hour across the board. Patrick, we'll go to you next. You do all kinds of crazy cool shit. Tell us what you do and what you've been up to and what's happening.
Yeah, so what I've been up to is finishing up this album or EP. I have an EP that is being recorded, mixed, and mastered next week. It is done. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, can't wait to get that out. And I'm you might catch me if you are local to St. Louis. You might catch me in the Grove behind the DJ table pretty soon. More to come on that. But if you fancy yourself in the club scene and want to partake in the P Brown experience, I got some news to announce in a few weeks. So stay tuned.
Yes, that's awesome. We'll make sure to link to those things that you do. Well, we already have your links up always every week for the music in our show.
I think actually Patrick gets negative cred if we pump his stuff, so maybe it's better that we stay away. He's too cool for Dragon.
No, not
That's
at
fair.
all. No. I love you guys so much. Thank you for always shouting me out. It means it means a lot, and hopefully I can be on the podcast more as a rotating guest or a recurring guest.
Yeah, and Preston.
I mean, anytime you want to replace Johnny, please just.
Please. Sure, yeah.
Hey,
I know
Johnny,
that invite is always open.
Preston in the chat with us tonight. Patrick was one of the founding original members of the Casual Hour here, and Chase came in a few weeks after him, and so over the years Patrick's bounced in and out, but we're getting to a point I think now, and I don't want to get too out there, but you might be hanging out a little bit more frequently than we have in years past with the show, so we'll be excited to have your face whenever we can. And
I want to get you in for some Mondays and Fridays playing some games too.
I'm down. I'm so down for that. Oh, we could play dodgeball. Y'all were like, "Oh, dodgeball looks dumb, but it has like 5 million players."
Let's play it.
Pretty good.
Let's play that.
Yeah, it's so tight.
Well,
the game is a lot of fun.
Johnny,
did you end up playing that Hood game? The last time you were on, we were doing a preview episode. There was that Hood game that's kind of like Left 4 Dead with like the both sides.
I completely missed it because of dodgeball.
It got returned by everybody. Everybody that I know that bought that game returned it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard it was like fun for a bit, and then it just kind of ended up being a slog.
It's a big
Every match
slog.
was just a real slog.
And people got real good real quick, and they just made you feel miserable.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But I'll download Knockout City, and we can check that out for sure.
Hell yeah.
Chase, the gamer on the go.
It's me.
What's happening with you? What's going on?
Well, Bobby, it's time.
It's time.
There's actually a new episode of Gamers on the Go.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy. It's been out for a couple days. Friend of our show, Pierce Corshane, came on with me, and we talked about the 2015 game Her Story, which is a fantastic game and I had a really great time talking to Pierce about that game. And then on the exact same day that we recorded this last Sunday, Sam Barlow, the creator of Her Story, announced a brand new game. So we're prescient like that.
Yes.
And that's, that's not something we mentioned in our E3 coverage here, but I thought that was also really exciting. And Bobby and I mentioned it on one of the weekend ones, but I think that's really cool. We just got kind of a teaser of it, so we didn't see much of it, but it seems like could be a cool thing because that guy just makes cool shit.
Yep.
So you can go find that, gamersonthego.com. That was again, really fun episode, and thanks Pierce for coming on for that. And then I also have been playing Super Robot Wars X, and I've continued to put those out every Wednesday and Saturday. So one of them just went up. You can watch the new episode. It went up like literally as we started this podcast. And that is part 15. So I've done 15 so far. How many do I actually have in the can? I've got 21 in the can. So, there's more coming.
More coming.
Still got a fuck ton of it to play. But that's been really fun. I've had Bobby's come on at some point.
I'm almost done.
Johnny's going to come
with the game. Almost done.
Point.
Very close.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah?
Getting close.
I'm sure. You've been playing along. I know. And then Johnny we're going to have on at some point too, once some characters that are more relevant to his anime watching show up, which they will. That'll be cool.
Awesome. And Johnny, the father of us all, what have you been playing with your son?
Nothing lately. It's all Minecraft all the time with that kid.
Are you checking out the new cave systems? Are you doing anything with that new update? We're not really into that yet.
Jude has asked if he could maybe come on the podcast and talk to us about the Caves and Cliffs update.
Okay.
So maybe we can arrange that in the near future.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Game.
That'd be great. Well, look, for everybody who hung out with us tonight for E3 coverage, we really appreciate it. We'll be back on Friday night. Johnny and I are queued up to play Monster Hunter, but we could play Knockout City. We could play some other crazy shit, but right now we're looking at playing some Monster Hunter Rise while Chase is out of town. And then Chase and I'll be back next Monday with a casual Monday. But sometime between now and then, we're going to record a bunch of quick looks, and we'll have a lot going out next week for the next fest currently taking place with Steam. Patrick, as always, thank you so much for the music. Thank you so much for your friendship, and thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It's always great to see you. We will be back soon here at the Casual Hour. In the meantime, play something new and reach out and tell us what we should play for you. Have a great night.
Happy Father's Day.
Yes, happy Father's Day.